We are so back. So as I'm sure most of you guys are well aware already, Master Duel recently just had a ban list. And for most people this ban list was, well... But for a very, very small portion of the player base, this ban list was actually amazing, as it freed up an art type that definitely didn't deserve to be on the ban list anymore, and had been on there for quite a while now. And not only did it free the art type, but it also freed up one of the strongest supporting cards for that art type as well. It's time to welcome back Adventurer Prank Kid. So here's today's deck list. Now just a reminder before I get to the deck list, if you guys are enjoying today's video and want to see some more content just like this in the future, especially if you're a returning viewer, so apparently about 35% of you watching this are even subscribed to the channel, means 65% of you haven't even subscribed yet. So if you guys are enjoying this kind of content, want to see more deck lists from me in the future, more videos from me in the future, remember to leave a like on this video and consider subscribing to the channel down below. Alright, let's jump into this deck list. Alright, so obviously there isn't going to be a whole lot for me to talk about with this deck list in particular, because if you've played Prank Kid before, or you've seen Prank Kid before, there's nothing actually new in here. It's the same art type and the same sort of list you would have seen however many months ago when this deck list was fully unlimited. It's just we've gotten a couple of the cards unlimited and freed to make this deck list feel a hell of a lot smoother. We've gotten 2 extra copies or 1 extra copy of the Water Enchantress, making it a lot easier to get a hold of the Adventurer package, which is very important for Prank Kid, because this deck list sucks against cards like Ash Blossom and Nibiru, which are very popular right now in this Snake Eye format. So having access to the Adventurer stuff means we're a lot safer against them, and don't just have to pray to God we draw our Call by the Grave, or for the Nibirus, just pray to God we draw Crossout. Now we can draw either of these two, hit the Foolish Burial, or hit one of these cards, and we can just have easy ways to deal with hand traps, so we can go into our Prank Kid stuff really safely. Of course, we've got 2 extra copies of the Meow-Meow, which is also quite important. You can probably get away with only playing 2 of these. It's very rare you use the 3rd one, but having an extra copy is huge, because obviously this card you can use in the graveyard to stop your boss monster tributing itself when it nukes the field, and normally when you did that, when this card was limited, you wouldn't be able to see that Meow-Meow again, and it made it so that your follow-up was potentially a hell of a lot worse. If your opponent wiped your field, you couldn't just summon a Prank Kid and go into full combo like you normally do, because you only had 1 Meow-Meow, and it's now banished. Now we don't have to worry about that. You can banish it safely, you can recycle them safely, and you have just, 2 extra copies or 1 extra copy, however many you plan to play. And as for the rest of the deck list, it's just typical Prank Kiddy sort of stuff. I think the weirdest thing I'm sort of playing in here is I'm playing some Nemeses Corridor. I did a Thunder Dragon video the other day, and I was just really enjoying playing this card, so I've decided to just toss it in this deck list. It's really good in Prank Kid in particular, because Nemeses Corridor, you basically just take one of your banished cards, put it back in the deck list, summon this thing from your hand, and as soon as you do so, you can turn this thing straight into a Thunder Dragon Colossus, which is fantastic, and also allows you to recycle some of the banished cards that this deck list does a lot of. Because of course your Prank Kid's Rocksies needs to banish a card in order to draw a card and summon something from the deck list. Your Meow-Meow banishes itself to stop your things from tributing themselves, and we've got your Water Enchantress, which also banishes itself, so plenty of banishing targets, plenty of targets for your Nemesis Corridor to set up a pretty disgusting floodgate for a deck list that typically doesn't have the most insane end fields, so an extra floodgate can't hurt at all. And yeah, that's basically it for the deck list, so without further ado, let's check out some gameplay of me shitting on some people on the ladder with this. Alright, so today I've got 5 replays to share with you guys, and I'm not gonna lie, there were some banger replays in here. I wasn't expecting to get such good quality replays today, considering Prank Kid, generally when they go second, it becomes more of just a hand trap war, and if you hand trap your opponent enough, you get to play the game. If you don't, well then you kind of struggle a bit. But today I actually lost the coin toss so many times that I got a good opportunity to actually set up some decent going second replays where it was more than just a hand trap war, so hopefully you enjoy some of these games. Alright, so starting off, I'm going to be using my Water Enchantress to bait out the Ash Blossom. Very nice. Now my Prank Kid combo is generally pretty safe, because the only card that's super impactful into Prank Kid once you've dealt with Ash Blossom is Nibiru. There are ways you can quite easily play through things like Impermanence, because normally you just dump the fusion spell to the graveyard and then you just recycle it back with your Link 2. Alright, so going for a standard sort of Link Climb combo here, starting off your Link 1, go into your Link 2, keep summoning from the deck list with each of your Prank Kids. Getting a search from the deck list, and we've already got the fusion spell in hand, so we need to search for the other one. Although you normally search for the Prank Kids Pranks, the 1-card combo anyway. Alright, summoning to the field, tributing to grab back my 2 cards from the graveyard, and the reason this combo looks really weird if you're used to playing Prank Kid is because on my 5th summon, there was a prompt from my opponent, so there's probably a Nibiru in his hand. So I was like, alright, I'm just going to set up the most minimal field possible and hope you don't Nibiru me. Which actually surprisingly worked. I got my 2 cards in hand, my water on field, got my Prank Kids Pandemonium ready to go, and I just set everything on the field. And he doesn't Nibiru me, because apparently Nibiruing this just wasn't worth it for him, which is great. If he Nibirued this, it would have been really annoying for me, but nice of him not to Nibiru my Dropsies, so I can quite easily fusion summon. I probably should have kept 1 card in hand, actually, to bait having the 3 of them in hand. But either way, I'm going to imperm my opponent's card. You'll notice, by the way, I think he discarded the Nibiru, so he definitely had one. He's going to cross out me. I'm going to imperm again. Normally, I'm not sure it's worth imperming this card, but he only has 2 cards left in hand, so I'm kind of hoping he hasn't got a whole lot left after I've just sort of impermed this guy a bunch. And of course, we still have our Fusion Summon into Double Pop ready to go. And as soon as he summons another card, I'm going to Fusion Summon. Out comes the Battle Butler. Summoning all 3 monsters to the field. Oh yeah, we have got some follow-up. And chain blocking as well in case our opponent still had another Ash Blossom or something. Because he has got one card in hand we're not sure about. Alright, Butler Nuke in the field. And don't worry, this duel isn't over yet. It might look over, but my opponent has a really annoying card in hand. Goddamn talents. Steals my Butler. My Butler can't be used because my opponent has nothing on field, I think. For some reason I can't use this card. I assume it's because he hasn't got any targets to destroy. So I kept trying to activate Darkhold and there's nothing on the field. It doesn't work. So can't get this thing off the field and he's just going to steal it. Of course. There goes my entire field. Alright, now it becomes a top deck war, but thankfully I'm favoured in a top deck war because I get 2 draws a turn thanks to my pranks, and he only gets 1, so hopefully as long as he doesn't top deck this turn, we're probably pretty safe to win the game. Which he didn't, so now I can set up, ooh, Nemeses Corridor. I've already got cards banished, thanks to multiple cards banished actually. So, Rite of Aramesir, how you pronounce this card. Getting my Fateful Adventure, summoning my Corridor, which will trigger the adventure. Searching for the equip spell, which we now send to the graveyard for the Gryphon. And because it just equips itself back from the graveyard, so we don't even lose any value. And now we have a negate, and of course we can turn this card into a nice copy of Thunder Dragon Colossus. The prismatic version, by the way. God damn, this looks good. Alright, hitting my opponent in the face, and passing the turn. And yeah, he's not playing through this field. We've even got a Maxx as well. And an extra draw for potentially something else. This is one of those end fields, by the way, where if we top decked a Prank Kid, we could have gone into full combo because we actually have the extra copy of Meow-Meow-Mu now. So, as an example where an extra copy of Meow-Meow would have actually come up quite a lot if we top decked it. Alright, on to our next replay. And I think the next, like, 4 replays are all going second, because I just rolled so many going second replays today. My dice roll luck was awful. Alright. Oh yeah, this was a banger. This is one of those rare replays where your opponent actually kind of set up quite a bit, and we sort of, you got a fat Nibiru. Yeah, good bit of back and forth this gameplay. Nibiru isn't particularly good versus this archetype, because although they don't start many negates, they can quite easily just set up a card that just, this thing here, that just says, I'm immune to card effects, so it can be kind of annoying. And they have the trap card set, of course, so if they have the trap card set, the cards in hand, and this thing to potentially pop things, it's not too bad. And they can swap this over with cards in hand as well. It's not the greatest. But that's all the hand traps we have to work with, so alright, I'm going to Nibiru on this thing summon. I'm probably going to wait a little bit longer, but I decided to just Nibiru right now. Of course, he makes this thing immune, which is annoying. Also draws 2 more cards with Maxx. Not great. And adding back as well. This guy's got a lot of advantage. Alright, there's the Primal being. I'm not even sure if this card can be summoned once per turn. I just assumed it couldn't. Could. I don't know. Either way. Opponent's got a Small World as well, searching for an extra Earth monster, I think, so this card's active. He even has a Triple Tactics talent, but thankfully, he sat here for a long time thinking about this. I don't think he knows how the adventurer stuff works. He 100% should have just got rid of my Prank Kid, because, yeah, these 2 cards do the exact same thing, and Gryphon I get a search for free with these 2 cards, so if he got rid of the Prank Kid, I would have been in a pretty bad state, but I don't know. He hasn't seen this. To be fair, it's been banned for quite a while, so he probably just doesn't recognize it. Alright, starting up by going to battle phase to trigger this card's effect, because I don't want this thing to pop my Prank Kid. And also, if he gets rid of it, I can now imperm something, potentially. Alright, never mind. No longer can imperm people. But I can set up my Gryphon now. Searching for my Dracoback, which of course we plan to send to the graveyard to summon the Gryphon. And as soon as I try to, he nukes my field. Which is still completely fine, because I've done all that to just get rid of as much disruption as possible, so I can actually play the Prank Kid side of my deck. I take a lot of burn damage too. Alright. Gryphon didn't even die, so at least you have the Gryphon on the field. Doesn't really do a whole lot, but at least it's on the field. Alright, swaps over to draw an extra card. I think he was looking for more hand traps or something. But now I can do full Prank Kid stuff. Summoning my Meow-Meow. Of course, drawing and discarding. Or banishing. Not hitting anything in particular, but we can go for our Dodo. Activate the effect of the green to send our fusion spell to the graveyard, whilst simultaneously searching for our Prank Kid's pranks. Summon into the field, these 2 become another copy of Dodo. If you're wondering why we go into multiple copies of Dodo, by the way, it's because we want to get as many cards in the graveyard that we can. So when we use this thing's effect during the end of the turn to shuffle cards back, we'll have enough resource in graveyard to not be forced to shuffle back the fusion cards that we need for our fusion spell. It'll make sense if you play the deck list. Essentially, you just want to keep your fusion materials in the graveyard, and if you don't go for a second copy of Dodo, you just won't have enough resources to draw a card and keep your Meow-Meow plus your fusion resources in the graveyard. Alright, it doesn't matter anyway, because you recycle it with this card anyway, so... Alright, summoning the Bow Wow Bark. It also gives you your potential to summon out another Prank Kid from the deck list to trigger its effect, of course, as well. Alright, shuffling back, drawing a card, not hitting anything in particular, but we have our full fusion summon here. And we also have Call by the Grave, Imperm, and yeah. Our opponent's going to attempt to destroy our stuff. We're doing this during the standby phase, by the way, or during the draw phase. Going to Imperm that. And the reason we do this during the draw phase, which I normally do anyway, but it's because this thing's swap effect requires it to be main phase, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it requires it to be main phase to swap it over, so we can't dodge the Imperm at the moment. And I can just go straight into my fusion summon whenever I feel like it. Alright, apparently he's playing the search effect, search for his Raisin that way. I'm now going to fusion summon. For some reason he equipped it to the card I was going to fusion summon with, so he doesn't even get his search. I don't know if he was trying to bait out the fusion or something here, but I'm not sure how intelligent that was. Now he just doesn't get his search for it. I think he already has a Raisin in hand anyway, so... Either way, summoning all my Prank Kids to the field. Alright, got my 3 dudes on the field, got now, what's that, 8,200 life points. Immediately nuking his field, because he went to the battle phase. Uses his Raisin. Still chilling though, don't need to worry too much. Tries to destroy the cards in this column, doesn't realize that the blue prank, or the red prank kid just completely stops that. The Bow Wow. Alright, summons the Vanquisher, which he actually has one in Graveyard, so I can call by the Graveyard, which feels pretty good. No adding back or special summoning or whatever you were trying to do with that. Summons his Soul Panther, can pop my Fateful, which is a little bit annoying, but it's fine. I think I would have preferred to keep this on the field anyway. And during the end phase, we're going to be nuking the rest of the cards on the field, so he can't swap them over potentially with his cards in hand. And yeah, he's basically dead on field. I don't know what this card was, but since he hasn't used it yet, I assume it's completely worthless. I'm just going to search for lethal damage, normal summon, and go to battle phase. Not play into a Nibiru or who knows what he's got in his hand. So he's going to do a simple, just smack him in the face for lethal damage. Alright, so a nice little duel that one. Did enjoy that. A lot more back and forth than you normally get, so... Alright, on to replay number 3. Yeah, a lot of the games I had to win today were very hard fought. It was kind of a rare occurrence that I got replays that are just like, I activate Maxx C, I win the game. Even the final replay you'll see in this video, I activated Maxx C, I drew a billion cards, and I still struggled to win the game, so... Goddamn T-Element. Alright, to sign this duel, activating Maxx C to hopefully cause my opponent to pass. But he was playing an archetype that can actually pass a lot of the time, because it's Bestial, so... So, it may look like it was over from this, but actually it wasn't. I wasn't able to lethal him. So I'm going to set up my Fateful stuff. Thankfully I actually hard drew the Gryphon, so I can just search for the Water Enchantress and then just summon the Gryphon from hand anyway. Without having to search for it. Placing my token. Getting my search for my equip spell. Bouncing whatever this is. It was a Fiendish Golem. I thought this thing would be like an Imperm or something, so I was like, oh yeah, I'll just bounce it before I summon the Gryphon, so my opponent can't just bait out my Gryphon negate. But no, it's a Fiendish Golem. Turns out he was playing a Resonator. Alright. It's annoying too, because that banishes it, that gets rid of it permanently. Oh, actually, the usage rate of this card is non-existent now. That shows how, like, dead Prank Kid was until now. Hopefully his usage rate will bump up a little bit now that Prank Kid's been unbanned. Alright, Joran getting a Banish. Of course, searching for the Pandemonium. Alright, Fusion summoning immediately using all 3 cards on the field. Summon out the Battle Butler. Alright, all 3 cards summoning back to the field. Alright, I don't think I actually should have gone for the Battle Butler here. I should have gone for the standard 2-card combo and just... Yeah, so you had like Bestials in hand, so I wasn't going to lethal him here. I should have been able to set up, I didn't set up the field quite as well as I could have. Yeah, there's no reason to summon the Butler here. I could have had like the Link 4 on the field and stuff, so not the greatest end field, but it's still alright, because I've actually set up 2 Battle Butlers here. I've got a Pandemonium on field, I've got perfect resources for a second Battle Butler. I didn't want to swing into this last turn, because of course, when this thing goes to the graveyard, it'd remove my Battle Butler, so I was just like, I'll just chill for a turn and see if we can get some more value from it. Which thankfully he lets us. He doesn't just try to go battle phase first, he just tries to save it, so he summons a bunch of stuff to the field, which is great. I can just pop some extra cards for free. Alright, search for another Resonator, grabbing the Vision Resonator. Has an extra Bestial as well. Probably should have popped this Bestial on summon, not let him summon out this card as well. Because now he's going to be able to remove my Butler, sadly, but he won't have anything left on field, and I'll have a bunch of things left, so I think I'm probably in a good spot anyway. Yeah, slight misplay there as well. The one Fusion Summon generates so much value with this deck. Look at that Chain Link, man. Chain Link 5. Alright, out come the goons. Alright, he's gonna search for his spell card, which I don't know what you're gonna do with that one, but I think he grabs Fiendish Chain and concedes, I think. Yeah, he just grabs the Fiendish Golem Solemn. Sorry. The Fiendish Golem, sorry. Alright, passing the turn. English is way too hard. Alright, moving on. Replay number 4. Yeah, this might be quite a long video, actually. These replays went for quite a while. And the largest replay still hasn't come up yet. The last replay is a long one. I might have to fast forward some of that. Alright, so finally going first, once again. Unfortunately, we are very susceptible to Ash Blossom right now, but thankfully our opponent doesn't have it. I think I saved this replay because this is an example going for the full Prank Kid setup, I think. If I remember correctly, rather than the standard 1-card combo. Actually, maybe I lied, never mind. Alright, Dodo being able to, I'll banish him from hand so I can set up the Nemeses Corridor. It must be the final replay that I went for the full Prank Kid setup. Because if you open 2 Prank Kids with the 2 different colours, you can go for the gigantic setup where you have the Link 4 on the field and have the Battle Butler set up as well. But this is just standard Prank Kid 1-card combo, this one. Very standard, without getting interrupted, without having any bullshit, just the full setup. And we get an extra bonus Nemesis Corridor as well. Alright, so not bad actually, and we get the Recycle as well, so... Ash Blossom, obviously we've got your Colossus, and we've got double Battle Butler Nuke as well. With a single copy of Crossout Designator to deal with things like Imperm or Call by the Grave, which is another card that's really bad for this deck list to try to deal with. And my opponent was playing Spiral, so he used this card to swap the cards on top of my deck list to place the card that he wants on top. So this thing can predict the type that he needs, which I think he chose Monster or something. So I'm going to use Crossout to shuffle my deck list and bank on the top card not being the one he just chose, or not being the type he just chose. So just going to do a random ass Crossout here to try to yeah, get him to predict wrong. And thankfully, we actually did. Easiest Crossout of my life. He's going to Droplet to deal with my Colossus. For some reason, discards 2 cards. I don't know why he wanted to negate the Fansies, but anyway. Maybe he wanted that card in the graveyard for some reason. But we have Ash Blossom, so we can deal with the field spell. And finally, he summons out another Spiral, and before he can go for his Link Summon, we are going to Fusion Summon. I'm actually not particularly familiar with what Spiral actually does. I just don't have an annoying Link monster, and if you let them go, they'll just draw a shit ton of values, so... I'm just going to, yeah, nuke the field. Get that shit off my field. And of course, summon back a bunch of Prank Kids as well. And I think he concedes after the Butler goes boom. I don't remember. Yeah, there we go. I didn't think he let me summon all my stuff. Alright, final replay. And this one is a long one, so I'm probably going to fast forward some of this. This was against Tierlement, who just played into my Maxx fully, just didn't give a shit. And it was still really hard for me to play because I'm a complete and utter dumbass. Yeah, it's one of those games where I played really poorly. I was just sort of like, I don't know what I was doing. I was just trying to like let my opponent play the game and give me as much draws as possible and just hold on to my disruption until I absolutely need it. And then, yeah, let him sort of do things to my field that I really shouldn't have let him do. Alright, Fateful searching for the Dracoback. Grabbing my Gryphon, discarding, re-equipping. Alright, and this is one of those hands which I was talking about before. We have the double Prank Kid, so I can go for the full Prank Kid setup, not just the one card. So going into the Meow, summon from Decklist, these two become the Dodo. Dodo searches for the fusion spell this time, when normally you search for the Prank Kid's pranks. Alright, I'm going to go into a fusion summon to summon out your Rocket Ride. This summons 2 to the field to become another Link monster. Chain blocking with the field spell. These two become your Bow Wow. These two can become the Link 4. And of course, your Rocket Ride can now tribute to bring back those Link monsters, which is how you get your Battle Butler set up. You grab your fusion spell, grab your Prank Kid, set your fusion spell, and pass the turn. And not a bad end field. We've got the Back Row Destruction or Field Spell Destruction over here. We've got the effect or the negation effect over here, the Omni Negate. We have the, obviously, adding back to hand. We've got a Maxx, we've got the Nibiru, and we've got our Battle Butler with our Pandemonium, so. And yeah, now we're gonna fast forward to some of this because it goes for a while. This man really tried to go through the full Maxx. Alright, King of the Swamp searching for Polly. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to negate that because he had a, Fairy Tale Snow to force out my negate. Alright. Yeah, so Teal'c is definitely not a good matchup for Prank Kid because destroying their field often helps them. So it's definitely not a good matchup for me, but thankfully Maxx is going to definitely do the job, I reckon. Holy mills. I was basically trying to hold on to my Nibiru and my fusion summon just as long as possible. Just let him just give me a billion cards. I have no real reason to activate Nibiru yet. But now he's got Colossus on the field, it becomes a lot harder because I can't really, I can't Nibiru when this thing's on the field, so. Alright, he's gonna summon out another card. I actually drew so many cards, I redrew into the Gryphon, I shuffled back into the deck list, so I'm just gonna place that back on the field, I guess. Why not? Is Gryphon even once per turn? I actually don't even know. Yeah, it's actually once per turn, so I couldn't use the negate again. Probably shouldn't have summoned it to the field. I then let him Black Rose Dragon my field before Nibiruing, so not much I could have done there, to be fair, since I had no negates or anything, but I probably shouldn't have Nibiru'd earlier or tried to do something earlier, but I guess if I Nibiru'd there, he just would have negated it, so maybe I didn't really have anything I could have done. That was probably the best case scenario, just let it go. Thankfully, this card survives because of, the Bow Wow, but if an Ash Blossom to stop his, he's searching for the trap card, summons this thing back. I could have at least gone for the fusion summon and got the negate that way, then Nibiru'd him. Like, there was no reason to let him summon this. Alright, wait, okay, I played this so badly. I don't know why I didn't try to fusion summon in response to the Black Rose. I'm actually just a dumbass. It's fine, he has no Teal'c left, so Nibiru forced his card away. He tries to use this thing to destroy my Prank Kid, which is immune, so we're still good to go. And after all this, I think I had like 30 seconds left on the clock. So I just panicked and just summoned stuff to the field. Alright, Imperming. Use my Rite of Aramesir. Grab my Colossus, ready to go. Yeah, I was just summoning stuff, man. I was not thinking. Should definitely just gone for an Accesscode Talker line, just Accesscode Talker him. I literally had a Link 4 in the graveyard, don't I? So I could just absolutely just dumpstered him with that, but instead I went for this instead, which, I mean, it was enough for lethal, it was just a little bit scuffed. 4 nuke is filled with the Butler, and that's just enough on field for lethal damage, with Cooled By, of course, for the snow. Yes, there's definitely a very scuffed replay to end it on, but whatever. That's going to do it for today's replays. Hope you guys enjoyed them. If you didn't leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Go play Prank Kid yourself. It's a pretty fun deck. And yeah, hope to see you in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.